And we are live. Good morning, South Florida. And hello, world. I am Robert Henderson Jr., the president, founder, CEO of the Henderson Financial Group, located here in Miami Lakes, Florida. We're a full-service financial planning firm. We have clients and service clients all over the world, believe it or not. We've been in business for over 30 years. We love what we do. We like to educate, inspire, and help
encourage
you. That's right. Say it, my brother, my co-host, my brother from another mother, one and only living legend, Mr. James T. Thomas. How you doing, Mr. Thomas?
Rob, it is a great day to be alive and great opportunity for us to get together. Last week, I think you were busy, I was busy, and the week before maybe we were out. Things are coming together. I share with people often, when you are reaching a new level, there's
Yes.
always going to be opposition. But
Yeah.
what you must do is not let the opposition block your vision. Look beyond it and then operate in all that God has blessed us to do. And brother,
Boy.
hey, people say, James T, you happy? I said, no, I got joy. See, happiness is based on a happening, and joy is based on my choice.
Woo, look out, boy. Ain't no stopping us now. Said that ain't no stopping us now. Well, we
McFadden and Whitehead did that song.
Oh man, we on the move, man. We on the move. You know, we got a special guest. You know, today we're gonna talk to this guest. But the day I came back, because I was out of town also last week, boy, it was cold up north. Woo, it was cold. No, I'm so happy to get back here. But we got a special guest here. We're gonna talk to this brother, entrepreneur, and he's really community oriented. And we're gonna let him explain what he's doing, how he's working, and how he is a part of the whole push to inspire and promote and encourage people, you know, in our community. And I love his story. It's Antonio's cousin, and Antonio brought him to me, and I just was really thrilled on what this brother's doing. So I figured, you know, James, he's right in line with us. He definitely want to promote, inspire. He's creating, and there's no limits to what he can do, and what we all can help and just know exactly what he's doing. So I'm gonna bring him in. But after we talk to him today, I came back and I said, you know, I want to talk today about risk, R-I-S-K, risk.
Okay.
You know, because I think a lot of people don't really understand risk. You know, we take risks every day. You know, going to bed is a risk because a lot of us don't wake up. You know that, right? But we don't think about it like that. But you know, when it comes to investments, and making moves, you know, you know, so we want to talk about risk. And I'm gonna give you some examples of last week what happened to me in terms of me explaining something to a guy who wanted this, but he didn't want to take risk.
The risk.
He wanted more, but he didn't want to take any risk. You know, that, like I said, there's a risk in going to bed. There's a risk in especially getting on I-95 and I-75 on Turnpike. Lord, we know that's a risk. And getting on them airplanes, whoo, I was up north, New York, Pennsylvania. I took a big risk getting back here to Florida. You know that, right?
I do know that, Rob.
Most people don't know that. That was a hell of a risk. I could have had a nervous breakdown if I really let it go to my head and say, I don't even know the pilot. I don't know his credentials. I don't know if he's racist. I don't know if he's a man or woman. I could have really zeroed in and had a anxiety attack, but I just went on through with it, and I got home.
Boom. And here you are today to be able to share.
Right. All right. Hey, good morning, Miss Redhead, Mr. Redhead, and then I got my classmate here from elementary school, Miss Annie Edwards. How you doing, Annie? I know some people are joining this because I can see that we have some people that didn't sign in. I can't see them, but that's okay. As long as you got your eyes and ears open, we got a great show lined up for you. Now I got Mr. Raymond Andrews. Let's bring Raymond Andrews in here because he's doing some great things, and I want the world to know about him. Mr. Raymond Andrews, how you doing, my brother from another mother?
Morning, I'm blessed and highly favored. How y'all doing?
Yeah, man. Yeah, man. Antonio told me about you, man. It brought tears to me, man. I said, oh my God, this brother's doing what and where? In Opa-locka, Florida? What
Right.
good can come out of Opelika? Well, I tell you something. I came out of Opelika. I'm from Chicago, but then I moved down here when I was like 8 years old, and I was reared up in Miami, a little small part, Opelika, and I was reared up out of there. But Mr. Andrew, now were you born and raised in Opelika or what?
No, I'm actually born and raised in Brown Sub. That's where I grew up at. But I have a lot of family that's in Opelika, Miami Gardens, really throughout the whole city of Miami. But I felt like Opelika needed a change, right? If you look around, there's no local high schools in Opelika, right? You have neighboring high schools. You don't even have middle schools. You have maybe 1 or 2 elementary schools. That's in
Rainbow
Opelika.
Park Elementary. That's where me and Annie went. Rainbow Park Elementary.
So just trying to do my part to make an impact in the community.
Yes, yeah. Opelika is, I would say, predominantly African American community, but a lot of Hispanics have moved in. It might not even be more. It might be more of them now. I don't know, but it's a lot of change have taken place since I left there when I was a kid. But you're doing something creative, and you're doing something that I think that my audience needs to know about, because a lot of times you look around, you don't know nobody that's doing nothing, so you figure that there's nothing to do. So sharing what you're doing and how you got started and why you're doing what you're doing, I think the audience needs to know and needs to hear about this. Okay.
Sounds good. Again, I'm born and raised in Miami-Dade County. Grew up in Brownsville. Went to Miami Northwestern Senior High School. How I came about getting into the industry was I had some troubles. Right, went to prison, did 6.5 years in prison. Another 12.5, close to 13 years on parole. And as anyone could tell you, like, it's difficult for a convicted felon to get those good jobs, good paying jobs and things like that. And I was also, victim of that in terms of not being able to get good jobs. So a cousin of mine introduced me to the electrical industry. Right. And I was able to get into the electrical industry, been a licensed electrician. I've been in the trade for 21 years now. And I got introduced into, teaching for Associated Builders and Contractors, an apprenticeship school. I was an electrical instructor for them. And I don't know if you all remember, but Florida Memorial University used to have a construction trades program that they were doing at one point in time. Well, I was the actual instructor, the one that was conducting those trainings for Florida Memorial University.
Excellent.
Before they decided to, do away with the program. And when that happened, I had one of the directors to approach me and say, hey, why don't you open up your own school? And, the thought had never crossed my mind. I was just like, well, I wouldn't even know where to start at. But, later on that night, it got me to thinking, like, maybe this is something that I could actually do. So I went about doing my research and everything to figure out how to open up a school and things like that. And I went about the business of actually doing it. Credit to some of my mentors and, former supervisors and employers. They helped me along the way to get to where I am, right? They saw the vision. They saw what I was about, bringing, skilled trade trainings into the community. So which led me to opening up Award Excellence Training Institute. And what we're a skilled trade training provider. We train in electrical, HVAC, carpentry, project management, and we also have a high school diploma program that we offer to individuals that's seeking to get their high school diploma if they don't have it, right? We're Florida Department of Education approved as an apprenticeship. We're Department of Labor approved as an apprenticeship. We have a partnership with Career Source South Florida as a eligible trainer provider and apprenticeship program. and we're commissioned for independent education license.
Oh,
So
man.
basically what that does for us, right, that solidifies us. So now when you think of Award Excellence Training Institute, think about Miami Lakes Technical, Miami Lakes Tech, right? Sheridan Tech, those types of technical schools and things like that. That's when you go on to the website for Florida Department of Education and you're looking for a school to attend, right? You'll see our name right amongst those other organizations and institutions. And that was huge for us because we wanted to make sure that not only were we providing training, but we were providing quality training that was actually recognized, right?
Right.
When you get a lot of people that go through trainings and things like that, but it's not recognized. So we wanted to make sure that
it's not accredited.
It's not accredited. So we wanted to make sure that before we opened the doors to the public and things like that, that we had all of those ducks in a row when it comes to opening this school, because we didn't want to be a school that just opened for 5 minutes and then closed. Next thing you know, it's closed for whatever reason, right?
Yeah.
We're here to stay. And
all right,
I see it.
So Raymond, let me ask you some questions.
Yes.
So you got an accredited school, recognized, certified, and what you do is you teach people a trade, and it's HVAC or electrical and what else?
Carpentry and project management.
Carpentry and project management. Now let me ask you something, because I'm thinking, because there's a lot of people running around here saying they got laid off, they don't have a job, and they don't know what to do, and they don't. Do you need any prerequisites? Do you need some skills like me? See, I'm a financial advisor, 30, 40 years. So if I wanted to start, could I come in your establishment and start training to learn about air conditioners and refrigerator if I wanted to? What's required?
For sure. And that's the thing. Again, a lot of large institutions, they have prerequisites, they have requirements. For us, we wanted to eliminate that barrier for a lot of people, right? That's one excuse that you can't make about not being able to qualify for the program. If you don't have a high school diploma, we'll help you get it. All right. And pretty much you just have to be able to read and write and understand on the 8th grade level.
Okay, so let me ask another question. So you said you have to, one of the requirements, you have to have a diploma?
Yes.
And and you can have will a GED count?
Correct. A GED would count. And the reason we say that is because you got a lot of individuals that has aspirations of becoming a licensed electrician or a licensed HVAC mechanic and things like that. Or they want to get their state license, right?
Yeah.
So we know that those entities require you to have some type of education, some type of diploma to back you up, right? They want those requirements. So that's the reason why we require it in that sense. But if you say to yourself, hey, I don't want to get a diploma, all I want to do is just get a job in the field, that's fine too, because we help you with that as well. Like, we'll help you get trained up to be able to get those types of jobs in the field that don't require a high school diploma or GED education.
What about someone who just coming out of prison?
Yes, for sure. I'm open to that community right there. Again, I'm from that community. I've served time. I've did time, so I know what it takes and how hard it is for individuals trying to re-enter into the community and things like that. And the number one priority on their mind is trying to gain employment. So we help those as well.
Okay, I got some more questions for you. I'm going to just hit some questions and I'm going to let you just talk, but I got some things on my mind. I want to make sure I get them all. So what about a brother? Here's a brother who was doing accounting. He got laid off because AI took his job. Now this guy is 45 years old. Can he start over from scratch, knowing nothing about electrical, knowing nothing about HVAC or anything like that, or project management? Can he come to your school?
Yeah, I've had individuals that was in their 50s, 60s, and as young as in their 70s that attended my program, and they still come back, you know, and they thank me because of the trainings that I've been able to embark on them and the skills that I've been able to translate to them.
So what I'm getting at, because a lot of people, when they don't make a step or a change, the first thing they do is self-defeating. They say, but I don't have the skill. I don't know how. A lot of people say, I don't know how. I can't do that. Do you need to know how in order to learn how to know? I mean, do you need, if someone, the reason why I said someone who's an accountant in AI took his job and he got, you know, a family, he don't want to just bum out. He want to learn a new skill. So someone who don't know anything about your field, this field, that's unlimited in terms of potential income potential, wouldn't you say?
And think about it this way. I've trained middle schoolers. I did a 4-hour workshop with middle schoolers who came out of there learning how to install receptacles, light switches, and lights at the end of it.
Well, I like
right.
that.
So again, imagine what I could do with the individual that's coming to my training for 16 weeks or 1 year or 2 years and things like that. So you don't have to know anything to come into this program.
Okay, now we touching on a lot of people, because a lot of people they're running from them robots, they're running from AI. And right now, the robots, they're not doing a lot of this. I mean, they probably will later on, but at least they'll know how to run the AI, run the tool. Okay. So you talked about tenure time. So someone who's coming in and they got laid off or they retired. You know, some of these people that started working for the post office or, you know, corrections of the state or the government or whatever, they started when they was 20 years old and they did 30 years. Now they 50 years old. And they don't want to just sit home and watch TV and watch Netflix and Amazon, you know. And they said, man, they want to do something constructive. They want to actually do something with their hands. So tell me, for someone who wants to, that fits that description, what is the tenure? How much time? Is it a 6-week course, 8-week course, a 2-year course? Tell me, in order for them to come from knowing nothing to knowing something where they can actually go ahead and start working.
The program typically takes about 16 weeks, right? Start to finish. So basically what we're doing, like, let's say, for instance, if they chose the electrical track, we are condensing 1 year's worth of training into 16 weeks, right? So a typical apprentice would probably go to school 1 day a week, right?
Right.
Because they're on the job as well. They're getting that training in the field as well. So they might just go 1 day a week, at the most 2 days in the beginning. Whereas in my 16-week training program that we offer, they're going 4 days a week consistently, right? Every day they're coming to the class Monday through Thursday, right? And that allows for them to basically retain that information that we're given to them, right? And not only retain the information, but they're actually doing the hands-on. Like, if you see my background, like, you'll see a lot of the tools that they're going to be using. You see the panels and things like that. These are things that they actually work with. This is not just for sure.
I love that.
Right?
But
so they actually work with these tools.
I love that. So you mentioned electrical track. So you got to talk to me like I'm a 6-year-old, because I'm gonna ask you a lot of questions, but they're simple questions. So you said they want to come in on the electrical track. It's a 16-week course and it's 4 days a week. We'll get into cost later, but I know people thinking about, okay, how much this is gonna cost? We'll get to that. But you mentioned something that I'm naive to. What is and what does a 16-week electrical track enable one to do?
Right. So like any course that you take, if you go to college, you got prerequisites that you got to do, right? You got your maths, the sciences, your Englishes and stuff like that before you can even get into your degree mode, right? Well, our training is the same way. So we have a core curriculum that we teach. So before any student gets into their actual skill, what we're teaching them is safety, right? They're getting their OSHA 10 or their OSHA 30 certification. That's another thing that I certify them with. They're also learning hand tool and power tool recognition. They're learning how to use ladders properly. They're learning all of the things that they're getting the expectations of actually being on a construction site or being on a job site that requires these types of skills, right? It doesn't necessarily have to be construction, right? Even though the book teaches about construction, we also teach about general industry as well, right? In those tracks. But they're getting all of these skills from start to finish to be able to go out there in the field and utilize them.
Okay, so let me ask this question. So in other words, so I'm still on this 16-week electrical track, and I don't know nothing. I just got laid off, or I just retired off my government job, and I'm 55 years old. Okay, so I go and do this electrical track. After I finish this 16-week, 4-day electrical track, what will that enable me to do? Put up fans, install new electrical sockets. If I want to put a plug in the other room, and what kind of skill will that give me that I can actually, what I would know?
So for starters, one of the main things is learning how to read blueprints and plans, right? So you'll be able to learn how to read blueprints and plans through this class. You'll learn how to do rough-in, which is basically the install of the electrical equipment and things of that nature. You're going to understand and learn, like the ceiling fans that you spoke about, the lights that you spoke about, switches and receptacles. You're going to learn all of those things in here. But most importantly, you're going to learn how to deal with service panels, meters, things of that nature, right? Learning how to do wire termination, and not just learning how to do those things, but learning the reasons why we do it, right? So that's the main thing. And I tell my students all the time, don't just be that person to just to hurry up and do. Like if your foreman sends you on a task, ask your foreman, okay, well, why are we doing this, right? So you can understand the reasonings behind you installing this outlet or behind you putting this panel in, right? Don't just be the person that just goes and installs. Always understand why.
Okay, so that electrical track, 16-week course, 4 days a week. How much would that cost me? How much would that cost me if I come to Awards Training Institute? How much would that cost me if I want to learn something new, a new skill, a new trade? That course right there.
So the program is actually $13,500 per year, right?
What if I? Okay.
So, but again, this is the reason why I say that, but I want to also say this. What we try to do here at Award Excellence is make it free to the community, right? So we're utilizing our resources, right? We're leveraging CareerSource, we're leveraging the city of Opa-locka, the mayor's office, the local CRAs, any organizations that might have grant funding and things like that. That's utilizing it for training. So we're leveraging all of those resources so that individuals coming out of the community won't have to pay out of pocket, right?
I like that. So you're getting funding from other sources to help if someone can't afford $13,000.
Exactly. So yet another barrier that's being eliminated. So you can't use that excuse. That's not an excuse anymore, right? When we talk about, if you say, well, I can't get to the school. Nah, you need bus passes. We got a local transit that runs directly, on the street that we're located on, right? So we're trying to eliminate those barriers for individuals to be able to join the program.
And there's no age discrimination.
No age discrimination. We take individuals as young as 15, but they have to be in high school, 9th grade, right? So 15, but in 9th grade. So from 15 and up.
So that was the electrical track. You say you also have a track for HVAC.
So we have HVAC.
And for the audience, tell me exactly what does that training help a person do?
Well,
knowledge
for
that you need to
starters, learning what HVAC stands for, because a lot of people don't know, right? So HVAC really stands for heating, ventilation, and air conditioning, right? So that's what HVAC stands for. So when you hear the term HVAC, just think of your AC units that's in your homes and things like that, your AC, your air conditioning, and then your heating units that's inside of the home. That's what HVAC stands for.
Now, how long was that course?
So that's actually a 2-year training, but again, we have a 16-week cohort that we teach accelerated. So we're putting that 1 year, that first year within that 16 weeks. Yeah.
Now let me ask another question. What about some people? Some people are working from 9 to 5. Do you? What are your hours for training? Because in other words, if somebody has to be, it's better if they retired, don't have a job, going to training, or if can they get off work? If it depends on the hours. What are your hours for these training courses?
So we're open from 8 to 5 p.m. Normally, but if we have a good enough presence or a good enough amount of people that want to take the training, but like you say, they do work during the daytime and things like that, we'll start up an evening cohort for those individuals that's looking to take up that training.
Well, I love that. So we covered electrical track training. You covered HVAC. What other training do your organization offer for someone who wants to pick up a brand new trade and skills?
So we also offer carpentry, right? And this is where they learn how to install doors, windows. They learn how to do stucco. They learn how to do, masonry work and things like that. Excuse me. But that's what the carpentry program offers to those individuals.
So I never knew carpentry segues into windows, installing a window.
Yeah, that's part of carpentry.
So for some of my property that I need to get new windows, if I couldn't take your course, them done hurricane windows cost so much. I'll be know how to install them and they'll get them, wholesale them, and put them myself, huh?
Yeah, yes, for sure.
Oh, that's pretty good. Now we need your information, and I need somebody, Miss Redhead or Annie or Shay or David, someone put Raymond's information in the post it right there so everybody can see how to contact him, because you guys may have some individual questions that you want to ask him. I'm just asking some of the things that most people probably want to know, like the hours and the time, age discrimination, how long is the course, and that sort of thing. But you guys may have some questions for him also that you want to ask him. Raymond, how do people contact you?
So we have my email address that individuals can reach out to me is r.andrews, that's ANDREWS, at awardexcellence.org.
.org.
Yes. Or my phone number.
You're a nonprofit organization?
Yes, we are.
So I can give a donation to you and get a tax deduction for it. But I like that, boy. I seen that org on a .org. I said, okay, I give to the church, but I can also give to you because you helping saving souls too, huh? So I can give to you and get a tax deduction right off and do some good for the community. I like that. So can someone post that, please? It's r.andrews at award. Is that awards with an S or just award?
But without the S.
Okay.
No
award,
S.
AWARD excellence.org. Yeah, that org means and Andy says, where's the school located?
So the school is located at 2190, that's 2190 Alibaba Avenue.
Alibaba Avenue. That's in Opelika, correct?
Yes, Suite 8.
Opelika, and that's suite number 8. Is there a telephone number?
Yes, 786-942-5387. 20. And I just want to say too, there's a lot of infrastructure that's going up. I don't know if anybody notices this, but you see a lot of building going on around the city of Miami, right? For example, the Poker Bean projects, right? Lincoln Heights and Brownsville projects and things like that. Those housing communities that used to be there are now being torn down, and construction is taking place on these projects, right? But you don't see a lot of representation from our communities working on these jobs, right? A lot of people don't know that these are federally funded projects that's being done. Like this federal money that's going into it. These are prevailing wage jobs. And what I mean by prevailing wage jobs is that let's say, take this for instance. If I was an electrician helper working for a private company, that worked on a private project, I would probably come in making $16 an hour, right?
Right.
Now take that same electrician helper and put him or her on that federally funded job, like the Poker Bean projects or the Brownsville projects project, right? And they're making $25 an hour.
Wow.
So that's what scale job. That's what scale prevailing wage basically means, right? They get fringe benefits. It's a Davis-Bacon scale that they're utilizing, but a lot of people don't know this, right? Anytime you see these projects being done and it's the county dollars behind it or the city dollars behind it, the government dollars behind it, those are all scale jobs, scale projects. And it's not just for electrical, it's for all trades across the board. Even somebody that's a day laborer or general laborer, they might be making $15 an hour normally. They're coming on that job making $20 an hour. That's the pay increase that you'll see for these types of projects. And we got to get more representation. And the reason that we don't have it is because you got the contractors, and we got to hold their foot to the fire as well, that claim that they're doing job fairs, but to hold up their end of the bargain to satisfy their requirements. But in reality, right, they're doing these job fairs in areas that, you know, people don't have the skills. And when they don't have the skills, they can't get on the job. So we want to be able to get ahead of that. Train as many people as we can, so when more projects are coming up like that, that's not an excuse for them to be able to place individuals on these projects.
Yeah, man. We James, we need to hook him up with Mr. Bill Dozier, huh?
Yes, sir. Hey, Rob, I was waiting for the opportunity to, first of all, Mr. Andrews, thank you so much for the tenacity and, of course, the vision to move from where you had been to a place that you couldn't even ask, think, or imagine. And I know if you look back over your life, there was a period that you couldn't imagine being where you are and doing what you're doing. It's outstanding what you're doing because, hey, as we bless others, God realizes that we can bless others by him blessing us. So Robert touched on something that you can be assured that we're going to do is to support what you're doing because of your giving to the community. The other thing is, so we're getting tied up, a lot of people with this AI and all the chat GPT, whatever, you know, the digital world. But the digital world is only a tool. It's not a takeover. People got to recognize, don't block it out, but don't think that it's going to block you out. You can use that with the skills and the opportunities and visions that you've been given to build. And man, when Robert told me, the key word he said that he knows influences us is that you're a creator. And we were created by a creator. And when we operate in that giftedness, he said he'd open up the world, the windows of heaven, and pour out blessings you won't have room enough to hold. So know that you've now got family and friends that will support what you're doing because of what you're doing. And that's why Robert wanted to bring you on so that you could have that exposure and others can tell about your project and your program. And yes, when you need to hold people accountable, when they are getting those federal funds, sometimes we need to go to those people that we elect and select and make sure that they're aware that we're not being treated fairly.
Totally
Man,
agree.
that's fantastic, man. Is what you're doing. What you're doing, boy, I tell you, it's a wonderful thing, and that's why I tell James about it. It's necessary the people let other people know what's out here and what you're doing, because a lot of people just don't know, and they don't know the opportunities. But if you have an effort, if you have a desire, I tell you, man, people come in your path, the right people. And I know that we're touching on some people now. We got a lot of people that don't live here in Miami. I'm a lot of courses. I guess you haven't gotten to the online studies yet, right? But because you can reach a whole lot of people. Are you thinking about that in the future?
I am. I think the only kind of hiccup with it is the we're doing things that require hands-on, training and things like that. So we want to make sure that anybody that we're training is coming out with a full array of skills that we teach them, right? And we just don't think at this time that online captures that experience for individuals coming to the school.
Yeah, because this is hands on. So you,
Yeah.
in terms of your vision, you have visions of not only opening up this school. You have this school now in Opelika that you're helping people, but you also have visions of going other places and opening up other locations also.
Yeah, so it's funny that you spoke of that. We actually have a school opening up in New Jersey, Newark, New Jersey, and then we have another location that's about to open up in Alabama, Montgomery. So
Oh, that's
we're
excellent.
doing some amazing things. Like those counties that we're actually bringing the school to are counties in cities just like Opelika, like you know under
A lot of
represented.
underserved communities. A lot of underserved
Yes,
communities.
underserved and things like that. So we want to make sure that I'm touching those counties and cities that really need it, right? And don't have the resources to actually get to these programs and things like that. Those are the ones that we want to touch.
Yeah.
Fantastic. Well, hey man, I want to say to our viewers and our listeners, whether they're on today or whether they'll be listening, Robert, on YouTube or Facebook in the future, you know, support entities like these in our communities because hey, there's so much that we can do collectively rather than just saying, well, hey, we can see what Mr. Andrews is doing there, but hey, wait, seek out, seek out others who are operating in your community that's working for the good of the community and the total city. I always tell people, uh, what's the biggest brand where you live? And most people are hesitant about, well, what do you mean? I said, "Yeah, what's the biggest brand? What city are you in? What's the biggest brand?" And I said, wait, it's the city. Because this is where those government funds, those federal funds, and this is where they come. Hey, and most people when they hear Opalaka, they have that, or when you were talking about the Polk and Bean projects, the negative ad. No, 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 no. Remember, the Poking Bean projects is now going to become, hey, another brand, a bigger brand, and those who lived there or moved from there because they couldn't afford to stay there because they didn't buy, they didn't own. We didn't have, no one came in and said, hey, God bless the child that has his own. So now, if you were always going to be held up by somebody else because you refused to recognize that it was the land, land, God gave us three things: dominion, territory, and government. And if we would handle those and manage those, we wouldn't have to beg nobody to respect us.
That's right. That's right, man. You're doing a wonderful thing, and we definitely just like I said, we can't commend you enough for what you are doing, we're definitely going to donate. We're going to, and we want you to come back later on in the year and tell us how you progressing.
Hey, hey, Rob, and we're gonna tell him that he should check in with the Henderson Financial Group so he can own Sweet A.
Yes.
All right, and if you don't own Sweet A, find somewhere that we can so you can do that one. All right.
Hey, well, Antonio gonna tell him. Trust me, somebody gonna tell him. Antonio gonna put a bug in his ear. He gonna tell him what we do and what we all about. So
Yes,
now
sir.
he knows the Henderson Financial Group and what we're about and how we're about community, togetherness, and love and sharing and creativity. So you on that path, brother. So you our brother from another mother, and we love you. We love what you're doing, man. Our spirits are aligned, you know, and you are sharing and you care. Otherwise, you wouldn't be teaching and helping others to build a better life and take control of their life. What I like what you're doing is you're teaching from scratch. And, you know, a lot of people don't go down paths because they say they don't know how to do it. But look at me, you know, I wasn't, when I was born, I never knew that I was going to be doing what I'm doing. I started out drawing and doing architecture, you know. I never knew that I was going to segue into creating, dealing with money. And I segued in that. And that's because people cross my path. I never grew up saying I wanted to do what I do, but this is my calling because I love it. I'm actually retired because I don't really work because I love what I do. When people say, Robert, are you ever going to retire? I am retired. I love what I do. I'm not really working. You know, I love the challenge. I love to create. I love to take something and make it to something. I love nothing and take it to something. I love to advance, to grow. Everybody know my motto is good, better, best. Never let them rest until that good become your better and that better become your best. Now, I first heard that at a school in Opelika, an elementary school called Rainbow Park. I was in the 3rd grade and I had to get up in the cafeteria and my white shirt on and go before all of the students and parents in the cafeteria. And that was my part to say. And I had my shoulders back. They said, make sure you put your shoulders back. Don't slump them. And I was like this here. And I was good, better, best. Never let them rest until your good become your better become your best. And I'll never forget that. And that was out of Opelika Elementary School. So, man, hey, I love it. I love creating. Matter of fact, Miss Dupree just signed on. So we're going to hook you up with Miss Dupree so we can get you hooked up with Mr. Doja organization also, because we need each other. We need to spread, and y'all need to know each other. Urban Craft Academy, man, is fantastic. We all love that organization. So now we're hearing about yours, and you guys need to know each other, you know?
I agree. And we over here at Award Excellence, we're open to partnerships and you know, collaborators and things like that. We want to extend ourselves to community organizations and things like that and foundations. We have a tremendous opportunity to impact a lot of people, and that's what I want to do. I want to make sure that we're doing that to the best of our ability, right? And another thing that I didn't mention, if you know any individuals that have their license already, let's say for instance, and they're looking to get into teaching, right? We help get them certified. We can get them certified as NCCER instructors as well, to be able to become an instructor or a teacher for their respective crafts. So that's another thing that we have to offer as well.
Fantastic.
Oh, man, that's fantastic. That is fantastic. That's fantastic for people who are already licensed and they want to get more involved and they want to teach and they want to help, because we do need everybody to chip in. We really do. Let me ask you a question before you go. Have you created a website yet?
So we do have a website. We had to deactivate it because we were in the licensure phase for Commission for Independent Education. And during this phase, they require us to shut down our website. We can't do any promoting or anything like that for the website, but we do have a website. Yes.
I got it. Okay.
Awardexcellence.org. That's the website. But it's deactivated at the moment simply because we're in licensure phase with Commission for Independent Education.
Okay. Well, we got Tony will put your telephone number in and your address. Anybody that wants to know more, get more information, when the class is going to start. Are the classes semester wise, or they all throughout the year, or what?
So all throughout the year, we send out notices about upcoming cohorts and things like that. As a matter of fact, I got a free OSHA 10 training that's taking place next week, March 26th and through March 27th. It's a 2-day training. They're getting a free OSHA 10 certification.
What is an OSHA 10? If you don't mind asking. So, what is an OSHA 10?
So basically what OSHA is it's a safety training, right? Construction safety training. So basically we teach them about hazard awareness. They learn about PPE. They learn about how to use tools and ladders and things like that safely, right? How to recognize hazards when they're on the job site. That's what OSHA stands for. Year round, you see all of these job site accidents. So OSHA is there to minimize the amount of accidents that happen each year.
Got it.
So when people get OSHA training, that's what they're getting trained on.
Do they get a certification for that once you get that training?
Yeah, so they'll get a certificate in addition to their actual card, OSHA 10 card. The OSHA 10 card comes later because it takes, once I submit the report, then OSHA takes up to 90 days to process, and then they'll send that back to me. But they'll definitely get a card and a certificate from the course.
And let me ask this, Rob. How does the recipient benefit from having that card? I think that'll help some people too.
So in order to get on any job site, you have to have a minimum OSHA 10 safety training at minimum. You can't step foot on a job site without a minimum OSHA 10 safety training.
And you know, Raymond, the reason why I really love this field that you're in is because each and every one of us have a need for it. There's nobody alive that does not have a need for the skills that you teach. Listen, I don't care if you're a lawyer, doctor, financial advisor, preacher, teacher, whoever you are, milkman, post office, everybody needs an electrician. Everybody definitely need that HVAC, that heating, ventilation, air conditioning, especially in South Florida. And if you're up north, you need some heating. You need to know about it, because if you don't know about it, boy, you're going to pay for it. If you don't know about it, you gonna pay. Ignorance costs a lot of money. Even if you don't want to really go out and do it and get a job, at least knowing how to do it. I would feel so much empowered if I had these skills. I tell you, man, I'm trying to figure out how. I mean, I'm at my age. I don't think I'm still learning, and I'm trying to still figure out how I'm gonna have the time to take me a course. So when I need to change fans in my house, I can. I go change the fan.
No, Rob, pick up your phone and call Mr. Andrews and have him recommend one of his students or someone he knows. See, hey, Rob, I want to be connected to Mr. Andrew. I don't want to learn the skill. I know he knows somebody who can do the work.
Yeah, I know.
So quick story, if y'all don't mind.
Yeah,
I had someone put a post on, and you know how you see it all the time. People put posts on Facebook. Oh, I'm looking for an electrician, or I'm looking for a plumber, whatever, right?
Right.
And somebody put a post on Facebook saying that they were looking for an electrician, and you had about 3 or 4 people, tag my name into the comment section for them to reach out to me. So the young lady reached out to me. And she was telling me what her problem was over the phone. And I was like, hey, did you check the breaker? And she was like, yeah, I checked. She said, yeah, I checked the breaker. I said, okay, did you like turn it on, turn it off? Yeah, I turned it on and off. Long story short, nothing still came on, right? So I said, okay. I go to her home. This was early morning. I had to go before my training started at 10 o'clock, 10 a.m. So I met with them about 8 o'clock that morning. It might have took me about 45 minutes to troubleshoot and figure out what the problem was and things like that. Come to find out, she was doing renovation to the kitchen and they tore the island out. So the power that connected to the outlets in the wall was tied into the power into the main power in the island, the kitchen island, which is why they didn't have any power. That job, just to sort through everything, I made $350 that morning.
Amen.
Wow, having that skill, yeah. That's right.
So I tell my students, like, look, this is just because, getting the job is one of the goals, but don't let that be the end all be all. You have different ways in which you can generate income and revenue from the skill that you have.
Unlimited.
That's
what I like about it. That's why I said a lot of us need to have these skills, man. And especially, people of color in our neighborhoods, man, instead of having outside people come in, especially the ones that don't look like you. And in South Florida, you don't even understand what they're saying. and you call them. So you need to, we need to know somebody, or you need to do it yourself. But it's a skill that all of us going to need. In other words, we can't get away from electrical problems or HVAC. We need to know somebody, or know how to do it, or somebody in the family or something. So if you got friends, cousins, nephews, nieces that need to come to this school and learn this stuff because they tired of working for the man, you can go ahead and learn a skill. You can work for the man. You can have your little side hustle. I got my air conditioning man work for a big company, but boy, he make more money on the side.
Yes, they do.
He worked for a 9-to-5 company. He make a lot of money, man. And he's a client of mine. I'm like, man, you making $300,000 a year, man. And he's good. We worry about getting fired. So this is something that you can create, and people always need it all over the country. Listen, man, we're so glad to have you. Before you go, James C. gonna say a great prayer.
Oh, really? Well, before we do that, though, Rob, because I don't know if we're going to be on next Saturday. Is it next Saturday? Because the Urban Construction Crafts Academy is having their fundraiser.
Oh,
the 28th. Yeah, the 28th. So you may be on, and I may be on from the event.
Right.
And you'll be coming out to have lunch with us. Probably that's the way we've been doing it in the past. But again, Mr. Andrews, thank you for becoming, and you have yet to become all that he has created you to do. So we're going to encourage you, and we're going to be there for you. Okay. So in that way. But the Urban Construction Crafts Academy having their big golf tournament, their fundraiser, and their luncheon next Saturday. I had some conflicting dates with some other things, but I've always been committed to that program. So I'll be a part of that as well. Father God, Lord Jesus, Holy Spirit, we thank you for today's message. And we thank you for the opportunity that we have had to give, because you promised in your word that if we would give, it will be given unto us. Full measure, pressed down, shaken together, and running over. Bless Mr. Andrews and his project. Continue to bless the Henderson Financial Group as they work to build better communities throughout the world, because you have said to us, we are called for a purpose. We came from heaven to be an influence on this earth. Yes, using kingdom culture and understanding the message and the mandate of Jesus Christ. And it's in his name we pray. Amen.
Amen. Yes. Hey, y'all. Next week, James, I'm going to start. I'll be here from 9 to 10, then I'll come out there to the session, and we'll see if we can get you while you out there.
I'll be out there, and I'll bring in Mr. Dozier and probably some of those other Great,
Yeah.
great people there. We'll that's how we'll do it. We'll
Yes.
be live from I think it's Miami Country Club.
Yes.
Uh,
Yes.
yeah,
And,
yeah,
and we're going
and
to discuss
great,
risk. Some
right.
people that are worried about the stock market going up and down, what's going on, this roller coaster retirement. We're going to talk about risk because I think we need to talk about that next week. So tune in the same time, same station. Have a wonderful weekend. Have a wonderful weekend and be safe. And
Mm.
know, man, that there is someone greater than us that got all this in control. Well, hey,
Trust me.
don't be afraid, man, because if you belong to the Father, you protected. You
Covered,
protected. Covered.
covered,
Much love.
covered.
Covered. Have a wonderful weekend. Peace, love, and happiness. Gotta go.